You've been conditioned to believe that creating the life you want is difficult, that it demands complex rituals, endless visualization exercises, perfectly phrased affirmations, and constant effort to raise your vibration. But what if the truth is far simpler than that? What if quantum manifestation is almost shockingly straightforward? So straightforward, in fact, that very few people apply it correctly. Right now, you are existing inside a quantum field. A field overflowing with infinite possibilities. A field that does not respond to how hard you push, but to how aligned you are. And yet, most people approach manifestation as if it were a battle. They attempt to overpower their current circumstances through sheer will. They repeat affirmations they don't truly trust, imagine outcomes they quietly doubt, and force themselves into positive thinking while their bodies remain locked in fear, scarcity, and chronic stress. This is exactly where the entire process collapses. Because within the quantum realm, force creates friction. So let's reduce this to something elegantly simple. Quantum manifestation is not about acquiring what you desire. It's about collapsing the version of reality where that desire already exists. It isn't about changing the external world first. It's about embodying the internal signal that naturally draws that world toward you. The quantum field contains every possible outcome: success and failure, abundance and lack, love and loneliness, ease and struggle. All of it exists simultaneously as waves of probability. But here's the critical point. A wave does not collapse into lived experience until it encounters a coherent observer. That observer is you. Your focus, your attention, your emotional state. These elements act as sculptors of reality. Yet most people remain trapped in a loop. They observe from fear. They fixate on what's missing. They vibrate at the frequency of lack while trying to attract abundance. In the language of quantum physics, this isn't a signal, it's interference. You've been taught to chase what you want. But the true art of manifestation is becoming the version of yourself that no longer needs to chase. It's the version that remembers. I am already entangled with the life I desire. The field is waiting for my signal. My role isn't to push harder, it's to become clearer. So why don't most people live this way? Because simplicity disarms the mind. Because releasing control feels unnatural. Because surrendering the chase can feel like giving up. But here's the paradox few acknowledge. The moment you stop needing something so intensely, the field finally has room to deliver it. Think about a time when something arrived effortlessly. Maybe you met the right person unexpectedly. Maybe an opportunity appeared when you weren't searching. Maybe a breakthrough emerged when you stopped trying. What do these moments share in common? You weren't gripping. You weren't forcing. You were open, aligned, and available. That is quantum manifestation in action, whether you recognized it or not. Because the quantum field doesn't respond to your words. It responds to your energy. You can repeat, "I am wealthy," 1,000 times. But if your body is still broadcasting fear, if your heart remains clenched in scarcity, if your nervous system is conditioned for struggle, the field mirrors that internal chaos right back to you. Not because it's punishing you, but because it's precise. This is where the real shift begins. Quantum manifestation starts when you stop focusing on getting and begin focusing on being. You become the signal. You embody the frequency. You allow your internal state to lead instead of your effort. But that naturally raises a deeper question. What exactly does the quantum field respond to? Is it thoughts alone, emotions, beliefs, actions? And how do you bring these layers into harmony so they aren't broadcasting mixed messages? This is where most manifestation teachings quietly fall apart. They isolate one layer of the process, usually thoughts or emotions, without addressing the deeper coherence of the system. You're told to think positively without resolving the trauma stored in the body. You're asked to visualize outcomes without clearing subconscious resistance that undermines you. You're encouraged to affirm success while your nervous system is still bracing for disappointment. But the quantum listens to the whole signal, the integrated embodied signal. That's why alignment isn't a mental exercise. It's a full body, full system, full field recalibration. In the next phase of this journey, we'll explore how the quantum field actually works, why the observer effect matters, what wave collapse truly means, and how your subconscious broadcasts signals even when you're not consciously aware of it. We're going to uncover the elegant mechanics behind what appears to be magic, and I'll show you why manifestation becomes far more effective when you stop trying so hard. Before we go deeper, I want to offer you a moment of reflection. Where in your life are you exerting so much effort that you've become the very resistance you're trying to overcome? Sit with that question as we move forward. The quantum field is not responding to your wishes. It's responding to your coherence. At its core, quantum manifestation isn't about thoughts alone, emotions alone, or actions alone. It's about how these three align into a unified signal the field can read without distortion. Imagine the quantum field as a kind of cosmic translator. When your thoughts, emotions, and actions are aligned, the message is clean, the vibration is steady, and the field responds rapidly. But when you're thinking one thing, feeling another, and acting from a completely different place, the message becomes scrambled. The field reflects back not clarity, but confusion. This is where the observer effect enters the conversation, a fundamental concept in quantum physics. At the quantum level, particles exist as pure potential, a wave of possibility. But when an observer focuses attention on a specific outcome, that wave collapses into an event. Reality solidifies, possibilities crystallize, the unseen becomes seen. But here's the nuance most people miss. The observer isn't only your conscious mind, the observer includes your subconscious. That means even if you consciously desire abundance, if your subconscious is programmed for survival, fear, or lack, the field receives that deeper broadcast. Your subconscious becomes the dominant observer, collapsing a timeline you didn't intentionally choose. And that is why so many people feel stuck, because they're aligning the surface while ignoring the programs running underneath. And in the quantum landscape, the subconscious always takes the lead. But the story goes even deeper. Researchers and thinkers like Joe Dispenza and Bruce Lipton have highlighted that the heart generates an electromagnetic field far more influential than the brain alone. This heart field radiates outward, interacting continuously with the larger quantum environment around you. When the heart and brain move in coherence, you emit a unified, powerful signal. When they are misaligned, that signal weakens and fragments. This explains why attempting to manifest using the mind alone so often falls short. Without emotional resonance, without a felt sense of alignment, the quantum field receives no clear instruction to mirror back. This is where many people miss the point entirely. They try to think their way into change, when the deeper work is learning to feel their way into coherence. You cannot simply tell the field what you want. You must become a vibrational match to it. That means tuning your body, your breath, your nervous system, your beliefs, and your daily choices into harmony. And this is not a one-time ritual. It is a living, ongoing practice. Let's ground this in a real-world example. Imagine you want to manifest love. You can write affirmations, create vision boards, and visualize your ideal partner. But if beneath all that effort you're carrying deep feelings of unworthiness, if your nervous system is braced for rejection, if your heart is guarded and afraid to open, the quantum field senses that contraction. It registers the contradiction. And what it mirrors back is more longing, more searching, more almost but not quite connections. Not because the universe is punishing you, but because it is accurately reflecting your dominant frequency. So what's the shift? The shift is coherence. Feeling whole now. Practicing the emotional state of what you desire before it arrives. embodying the sensation of already having it so the field can collapse that timeline into form. You become the frequency first, and the form follows. This can sound complex, but the underlying truth is simple. The more you release control over the outcome and focus on regulating your internal state, the faster the quantum responds. This is why the process is described as simple, yet rarely practiced. The human mind craves complexity. It wants steps, formulas, guarantees, but the quantum field isn't mechanical, it's relational. It responds like a mirror, like a dance partner, alive, intelligent, and responsive. So let me invite you into a moment of practice right now. Take a slow breath. Notice how your body feels as you listen. Observe where tension is being held. Notice the quiet narratives playing in the background of your mind. And for just a moment, soften. Let the grip ease. Allow the need to control, fix, or force everything to loosen. Feel what it's like to be okay right here, without requiring anything to change. This is where your power begins. Before moving forward, I want to anchor this shift. If you feel a spark of recognition, if something inside you is waking up, consider subscribing. Join this space, this conversation, this shared exploration. And in the comments, leave one word that captures the energy you want to embody this week. Maybe it's trust. Maybe it's ease. Maybe it's joy. Whatever arises first, let that be your signal. Name it. Share it. Because the moment you name it, you begin aligning with it. So why is it that so few people actually live this way? With countless books, courses, and endless videos about manifestation, why do so many remain stuck, frustrated, and disappointed? The answer is simple, yet uncomfortable. Letting go feels unnatural. The human mind is deeply conditioned to seek control. We've been taught that effort equals worth, that struggle proves value, and that pushing harder guarantees results. So when we encounter a system like quantum manifestation, where coherence, alignment, and surrender are the central keys, it short-circuits our programming. We keep forcing outcomes, even though forcing is the very frequency that signals distrust to the field. Most people who struggle with manifestation are caught in what can be called a control loop. They constantly monitor results. They visualize abundance, then anxiously check their bank accounts. They script about love, then obsess over messages and dating apps. They affirm health, yet scan their bodies for symptoms every morning. In doing so, they send a signal of mistrust. They consciously declare one thing while subconsciously broadcasting the opposite. And this matters because the quantum field does not speak English, Portuguese, or any human language. It communicates through energy. And energy never lies. You can say the right words, follow every technique, and still struggle if your nervous system remains locked in fear, doubt, or stress chemistry. The field listens to the deeper signal. This is why so many people feel exhausted. They are doing all the right things, but they're doing them from a state of hypervigilance, scarcity, and lack. As a result, they loop. They manifest more waiting, more effort, more searching, because energetically, they are living in the timeline of trying to get, not the timeline of already having. Here's where it becomes even more subtle. The subconscious mind runs most of your life on autopilot. It shapes habits, beliefs, emotional reactions, and identity. You may consciously want a breakthrough, but if your subconscious is anchored in old stories like, "I'm not enough," "nothing works for me," or "I have to fight for everything," those programs will continue collapsing the wave into familiar outcomes. This is why affirmations without embodiment feel empty, why visualization without nervous system regulation collapses, why action without aligned identity leads to burnout. Quantum manifestation isn't an add-on to your life. It's a recalibration of your entire system. It's a remembering, a return. It's about becoming the version of yourself who already lives inside the timeline you desire before any external evidence appears. If you want abundance, you practice abundance now. You move with generosity, presence, and care. You loosen the need to micromanage outcomes and embody trust. If you want love, you practice love now. You soften. You open your heart. You stop seeking validation and start living from the truth that you are already enough. And if you want health, you stop scanning your body for what's wrong and begin nurturing what's right. You shift from survival into resilience. You honor the body you have while gently guiding it toward vitality. And here's the paradox once again. When you stop needing it so badly, it often arrives faster. Not because life is testing you, but because you are no longer the resistance. So let me ask you something important. Where in your life are you still gripping the steering wheel with white knuckles? Where are you still measuring, tracking, forcing, and chasing? And what might change if you loosen that grip by just 10%? This isn't about passivity. It's about shifting from control into conscious co-creation. That shift, subtle, powerful, and often uncomfortable, is where quantum manifestation actually begins to work. In the next phase, we'll explore simple but rarely practiced ways to realign your system, regulate your internal state, and become the clearest signal possible to the quantum field. We'll look at how to dissolve resistance without bypassing real emotions, how to build trust with your subconscious, and how to step into the timeline you desire as if it's already yours. And here we arrive at one of the most overlooked truths in manifestation. You don't manifest what you want. You manifest what you are. This isn't just a poetic idea. It's a principle that governs how the quantum field interacts with you. The field doesn't respond to your vision boards, your affirmations, or your carefully chosen words. It responds to the signal of your being, the vibrational signature you carry into every moment. That signal is built quietly, continuously, not through what you do, but through how you are. Think of yourself like a radio. If you want to hear jazz, you don't demand jazz while staying tuned to heavy metal. You change the dial. Quantum manifestation works the same way. You can't access the timeline you desire while vibrating in the frequency of the timeline you're trying to leave. So how do you change the dial? You begin by noticing your current frequency, not just your thoughts, but your states, how your body moves through the day, how your breath changes under stress. What stories repeat themselves softly in the background of your mind? Most people aren't manifesting deliberately. They're manifesting on autopilot, recycling the same reactions, emotions, and energetic broadcasts. And the field mirrors them faithfully. The shift begins when you interrupt the pattern, not with force or urgency, but with simple embodied awareness. Sometimes it's one conscious breath in the middle of anxiety. Sometimes it's placing a hand on your heart during self-doubt. Sometimes it's asking yourself, what would the version of me who already has this choose right now? And then taking one small action from that place. Here's what rarely gets said. The quantum doesn't require perfection, it requires coherence. Coherence happens when your thoughts, emotions, and actions move in the same direction. When you stop saying one thing, feeling another, and doing something else entirely. When your entire system hums with a unified signal. And when that happens, even briefly, something shifts. A kind of gravitational pull forms. Reality begins to bend in subtle but unmistakable ways. Let's make this tangible. If you want to embody abundance, practice generosity, not only with money, but with attention, time, and energy. Train your nervous system to feel, I have enough, even before the external numbers reflect it. If you want to embody love, practice vulnerability. Open your heart in small, courageous ways. Become the safe space you're seeking in another. And if you want to embody health, practice presence. Nourish, move, and rest your body from a place of respect, not punishment. This path is simple, and few walk it because it asks you to go first, to become the frequency before the evidence appears. Maybe it's allow, maybe it's expand, maybe it's flow. Whatever word comes to you, let that become your signal to the field. And here we are, at the final piece of the puzzle. I want you to really hear this. Manifestation is not a performance. It's a practice. It's not something you master once and move on from. It's something you live, moment by moment, choice by choice. So many people get stuck believing manifestation is about doing more, hacking the system, perfecting the formula. But the most powerful manifestors are not the ones with the most techniques. They are the ones who have learned how to return to coherence, how to regulate themselves back into alignment when life inevitably challenges them. Because the truth is, you will be tested. There will be moments when fear resurfaces, when old patterns try to reclaim your attention, when the timeline you're leaving behind feels like it's pulling you back. In those moments, the impulse to control returns, to push, to force, to micromanage outcomes. But true mastery asks something different. Can you remain anchored in trust even when the evidence hasn't arrived yet? Can you hold the vibration of "it's already done" while the external world still looks unchanged? Can you become so grounded in the new timeline that the old one loses its grip on you? This is where embodiment becomes essential. So let's bring this into daily life. Each morning, before reaching for your phone, take a few slow breaths and ask yourself, what frequency am I choosing today? Scarcity or abundance? Fear or trust? Control or flow? Throughout the day, let your body guide you. Your body will always signal when you've drifted out of alignment through tension, tightness, or contraction. When that happens, there's no need for judgment. Simply notice, breathe, recalibrate. Ask yourself, what would the version of me already living in my desired timeline choose right now? Then take one small action from that place. At night, before sleep, revisit your day with curiosity rather than criticism. Where did you wobble? Where did you realign? Where did you glimpse your own capacity? Gratitude strengthens coherence. Acknowledge even the smallest shifts. There's one more piece many people overlook. Community matters. We are social, energetic beings. We naturally co-regulate with those around us. When you spend time in spaces where coherence, embodiment, and conscious creation are practiced, your system begins to entrain to that frequency. This is why curating your environment matters, not only physically, but energetically. Seek voices, spaces, and communities that reflect who you are becoming. Let your external world support your internal practice. And remember, there is no finish line. This isn't about arriving somewhere and stopping. It's about living inside an ongoing unfolding, where you don't just manifest experiences, but become someone who lives as a conscious co-creator of reality. Because the most profound truth is this: the quantum field is not separate from you. It's not something you reach toward from a distance. You are entangled with it. You are the field. You are the wave. You are both the observer and the observed. So when you tune your frequency, you're not asking life to meet you. You're becoming the version of life you've been seeking. I want to leave you with one final invitation. In the comments, share a single word that captures the energy you're choosing to carry forward after this video. Maybe it's alignment, maybe it's ease, maybe it's power, or maybe it's something uniquely yours. Let that word be a quiet declaration, a quantum seed planted within you. And if this journey stirred something inside you, if you felt a shift or a remembering, I invite you to subscribe. This isn't just a channel. It's a living space for those ready to step into their creative power. Thank you for your presence, your attention, and your energy. You are not just watching this unfold. You are part of it. Keep tuning, keep aligning, keep playing in the field.